Hello everyone, how y'all doing? Welcome to another PS Book Reviews. Just finished reading this thing, Frank Herbert's Dune, the graphic novel, book 1. Um, Adapted by Brian Herbert, Kevin J. Anderson, illustrated by Raoul Allen and Patricia Martin. And the cover artwork is by Bill Sienkiewicz. I don't know how to say the name. This was a gift from my wife for my anniversary. It's the graphic novel version of Dune. I read all of the original Dunes from Frank Herbert. I did not read the prequels written by Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson or the follow-ups. They did a whole series of other books, but I had checked reviews and it felt like I would be disappointed by them. So I decided maybe someday I will read them, but not right now. I'll stick with the original series from Frank Herbert. New movies coming out from Dune, which I saw a trailer of, and it's looking pretty interesting. Hope to see it when it comes out, and to ride the hype of the movie relaunch or reboot or whatever you want to call it. The authors decided to do a graphic novel adaptation because that's what's trendy nowadays. Um, I had a few misgivings with comic book or graphic book adaptations of known franchises made just to ride the hype. I'm talking specifically of the Game of Thrones graphic novel, which was crap. I didn't like it at all. And this one, I read some reviews that was pretty much a similar thing. It wasn't really living up to the standard of Dune. But it was a gift from and I had decided not to buy it because of that. But my wife knew I was a big Dune fan, so she decided to buy this as an anniversary. So I was very skeptical going into it. I like the cover artwork. The cover artwork's pretty good, so good work for that. The inside illustrations are, how can I say this? Um, they are good, but they don't live up to the level that you would expect from Dune. Some scenes are really good, and the character drawings are really on point, things like that. But there are a lot of little details that you miss. I mean, if you don't know the story or if you haven't seen the stuff, like scenes like this one, for example, look pretty good. Like, spoiler alert for those who don't know the story, this is when Lady Jessica discovers a garden in the middle of the Arakan palace. So there are some scenes that look really good, and the backgrounds look nice and fill up well, and the characters have good expression, and the story flows. But most of the book does not. Most of the book feels bland or just standard. And I mean, I'm sure a lot of people will still like it, but I was disappointed by it. Maybe it was because of the hype. I already had some biases going into it. I already assumed that it was not going to be up to standard, and yeah, I didn't really enjoy it. I felt that it was like the format first, the size of the whole page. It's not the correct size for a comic. It should have been bigger, and you can tell on a few of the pages that the lettering is too small or the images are too small. It should have been slightly bigger than it is. So the dimensions themselves are not correct, or they're not on standard, in my humble opinion. It does seem to come from the background of the illustrators or of a more modern take on the comics, and reading the history of Raoul Allen and Patricia Martin. They do seem to have a good background formation on drawing comics, and I think overall they did a decent work on reimagining the planet, the characters. I would have made a few things different, of course. Everyone does things slightly different, but overall they felt very bland. They didn't feel like, I don't know. I was expecting more contrast in the story between, for example, Caladan and Narakis. I was expecting that the faces were more on point, not just filling the gaps. It felt like they were drawing to fit the story, and the story wasn't adapted properly to fit the medium. So the story is all there though from the original Dune. It follows the story very well, so they didn't take any creative detours, which I sometimes don't like. But I think even keeping the original story, they could have used the medium a lot better, like using full pages a bit better. The way that some scenes work, they just feel too forced or too constricted to the small sizes of the windows. Um, I don't know. It's my opinion. It didn't completely convince me, but I think a lot of people will still like it and enjoy it. And it did take a lot of work, but I feel like maybe the original project management of the whole thing was a bit standard. They didn't think too much outside the box. Maybe they were trying to play it safe, just make sure that it's good, not like in that space where it can be really good or really bad. And I guess for some people that's fine, but I was expecting something better. I was expecting something better. It felt too traditional. That's my main take out of it. That doesn't pull me to read it again. But yeah, I think some other people will enjoy it. I won't buy the second volume or the third volume. But well, this is here, so I guess, and it was a gift, so I guess I have to keep it. But yeah, anyways, looking forward to the movie. And if you have different opinions on this graphic novel, by all means, feel free to share them and explain why you liked it in particular. I'm sure other people reading the comments on this video will appreciate that insight as well. I didn't particularly enjoy it, so that's it. So yeah, see you next time. Bye bye everyone. Take care.